Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our WVS Hicks Talks, an online educational and awareness series. It is our pleasure to welcome the first guest speaker for today's session, Dr. Murugan Appupilai. He is the Education Head of Mission Rabies. He will be sharing his experiences, important insights, and key statistics on how Goa became a rabies control state, the challenges faced, and achievements. Dr. Murugan will be answering questions at the end of the talk, so please put down your questions in the comment section. We would love to hear from all you lovely viewers. Welcome again, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vasantara. Yeah, very good evening to all of you. Goa is now a rabies control state after about 6-7 years of hard work. And today, being a World Rabies Day, we are starting with the rabies message. As you all know, this is the day we have to create awareness on this World Rabies Day. And the one thing which I am really concerned is in the case of COVID, for example, we were losing loss of life too much. The reason was there was no vaccine available. Then we got the vaccine later on, and now we are able to save lives. But in the case of rabies, the vaccine is available 130 years ago. You all know about it. Thanks to Louis Pasteur. But even after 130 years, we are not able to control rabies or eliminate rabies, and still the status quo. So that is so unfortunate. This is mainly due to the lack of awareness. That is one thing which is a serious concern now. And if this could be addressed, and we will be able to win over and maybe able to achieve the target of the WHO to eliminate rabies by 2030. So if you look into this disease, it is a zoonotic disease which is 100% preventable. In case if it is not a 100% preventable disease, we may not be able to work on it seriously. But this disease can be prevented 100%. At the same time, fortunately, 99% of these cases are due to dogs. The human transmission is due to dogs. So, in case if we could concentrate on the dogs, we can forget about all other animals. So, we will be able to achieve the results. 55,000 people die globally and 20,000 people in India. And coming to Goa, when the project was started, it was 17 people recorded death through the GMC. But there were too many number of deaths during that time unrecorded during 2014. It's not only a serious deadly disease, but it is economic disease as well. As you look into the figures, it is coming to about 64,500 crores per year globally. Then 40% of these rabies victims are children under 15 years. That is a serious concern. And this is not a new disease like hepatitis or influenza or HIV, but it is a good old disease, very old disease, about 3,000 years old disease. The global strategy, as I told you, is WHO is having a theme: educate, vaccinate, and eliminate, and to end this rabies by 2030. This elimination from this is possible if we can look into the virus from the dogs and the dog bite prevention strategies. In Goa state during 2014, when we took this project, as I told you, 17 human deaths have been recorded. There was no investigation of the rabies cases during that time. There was no records, and the dog population statistics of the state was very poor. So when we came, they told the number of dogs available in Goa was 30,000. But in reality, when we went to the field, we found that the population is about 1.5 lakhs in Goa state. The children's awareness was also lacking. And we conducted a KAP survey, knowledge, attitude, and process survey, in 44 number of randomly selected schools, and we found that this knowledge was very poor. So based on the knowledge, based on the data which we collected, we framed the education materials, and that was the starting point for our program. There was no rabies testing facility that time. Then later on, we created the testing facility right in Goa state itself. That was a great achievement of Mission Rabies. There was no facility for the dog sterilization during that time. A mobile dog sterilization facility was brought by Rabies for Mission Rabies all the way from UK. That was a great facility given to the government of Goa. If we look into the history, it was during 2013. This project was inaugurated in Goa by Sri Manohar Parrikar, the late Chief Minister. And then during 2014, we demonstrated to the Goa government and the people of Goa the capability of WVS, and we carried out about 20,000 dog sterilizations and 24,000 dogs vaccinations. That was a great show. This we were able to do it within 6 months of time, utilizing the operation truck as well as all the veterinary facilities and the NGO facilities in Goa state. Then during 2014, after seeing this demonstration, the government of Goa came forward and they signed an MOU with us, Mission Rabies, and they committed about 30% of the cost of the project. And later on, the same year, between 2015 to 2018, the DFA testing facility was also established at Goa at the disease intelligence units in the state. Then, during the same year, human rabies death was brought to zero. From 2018 onwards, continuously, there is no human rabies death recorded. And the same year, we wanted to know how this project is going. So a share workshop was conducted with the technical support of Center for Disease Control America, and they evaluated this project at the rate of 3.5 out of 5. So that was a great encouragement to us. Then the project was, after seeing these results, the project was further extended for 3 more years, amending the project. And during this extension, the education and surveillance were also included in the government project. Then during 2020, there was a big challenge. As you all know, the number of rabies cases came to zero, the human rabies cases, and the number of animal rabies cases as well started coming down. But during 2020, during the pandemic, in Maharashtra, all these hotels were closed. So all these hotels closed. The dogs started moving from Maharashtra to Goa for searching for food. So that time it was a challenge because, as you know, Maharashtra is an endemic place and Goa is a controlled place. So the virus was brought from Maharashtra, and we started getting cases, more and more, and number of cases. So when these human doctors were very busy attending to the COVID patients, and we were very busy attending to these new cases. And the key elements in this project is mass dog vaccination, of course, and education and awareness, and the surveillance. All three together were winning this show. If you look into this state, it is a small state with a population of only 15 lakhs. About 15 lakhs. And the dog population is about 1.5 lakhs. The vaccination types, if you see, it is net catching type as well as hand catching type, and about 53% is by net and 47% was by hand catching. And the stray roaming dogs, actual stray roaming dogs is about 36%, and the roaming and semi-owned dogs about 40%, and the totally owned dogs, that is confined dogs, about 24%. If you look into the net catching and hand catching, the activities, it will be very interesting because our boys are doing throughout the year, both in the monsoon season as well as the hot sun. So that is giving these results. If you look into the mapping, you can see every year how much of coverage we are able to get. We are trying to make about 70% of the coverage each year since 2017 onwards. But of course, during 2020, due to the pandemic, we are not able to continue with the results. And the entire data is being recorded in the app. It is called Mission Rabies app, designed by Mission Rabies. And so the place where the dog is vaccinated, and then the location, in addition to the data on the dog, the male or female, owner dog or stray dog, the neutered dog or non-neutered dog, all these details are recorded in this app. So this is the static point centers, for example. Now we are introducing. So far, we were doing this door-to-door vaccinations. The stray dogs are vaccinated, and the owner dogs were done going visiting the houses. So that was a big easy one. Now presently, since the project is going to come to a close, we are introducing the static point vaccination, where all these centers, about 80 to 100 centers, have been established through the Animal Husbandry Department, and we are trying to start this practice of static point vaccination like what we do in Africa. It is going to start tomorrow. It is going to be inaugurated by the government secretary, Sri Guldeep Singh Gangar, and the actual vaccination is going to start on the 5th of next month. So during 2019, as usual, we get the lot the volunteers from all over the world. But unfortunately, during pandemic, we were not able to get any travelers around here. And we have the hotline set up for the rabies control, which is 24 hours hotline, where anyone can call this number and report a rabid dog. So this is something which is really giving a lot of information, and which is leading the surveillance team is leading this the project to get more and more number of rabies cases. And we also have an IBCM team, the Integrated Bite Case Management team, who go to the dog victims and collect the data about how they got bitten and what is the thing, and they also help them to go to the hospital. And in addition to this, if you see the number of cases recorded, you see, it started coming down. See, 2017, the cases were 80. Before that, the surveillance was not well established. So during 2017 onwards, it was well established. But at the same time, the cases started coming down due to the vaccination. 80 became 27, and then became 8. So unfortunately, as I told you, during the pandemic, the numbers started going up, and this year it is down. So after the pandemic is coming to a control, so we also have a control on the number of cases after 2020. And the phylogenetic analysis to find out the source of the virus is also conducted in some of the areas. As I told you, this is the border is a great threat for our project. So if you see Pername, Bicholim, Satari, and Kanakona, these are the borders, main borders for our state. Fortunately, we have the other side covered by the sea. So this is the real threat for us. Actually, this is an open border, wherein if you go to the other talukas of Karnataka, where you have thick forest, so it is not a threat for us. The real threat is Perne, Bicholim, and Satari, where we start getting these cases. And presently, after the Goa has been declared a rabies controlled state, we are establishing the hoardings in the checkpost, railways, airport, and all the road checkposts. So telling these people, visitors, about this controlled status, and asking them to get their dogs vaccinated. So all these things are taking place now. So that is a real control measures which we are taking along with the support of the government. In the surveillance challenge, as I told you, the sequencing has started, and the checkpost surveillance also has been started, and the sterilization of the dogs have been completed in the border area, like Pernem, Bicholim, and Satarim area. We have sterilized the dogs to bring the dog population under control, and the post-mortem of the wild animals is still pending, which needs the support of the forest department. After that, we will be doing that also, to just find out in case there is any virus which is being uh, given by the wild animals. And coming to the education part of it, this is the key pillar of this project, and this is a pillar of our integrated One Health campaign. As I earlier told you, 40% of the dog bite cases are uh, among the children. So that means the education of the children become the topmost priority. So we focus on the dog bite avoidance, that is, how to avoid the dog bites, and in case if somebody is bitten, how to manage the bite by washing the dog bite wounds with water, and then going for the post-exposure prophylaxis, which are all very crucial for this control. The rabies control, in fact, is a very complex program, as you know, which involves the common public, animal, government, animal lover on one side, and not the animal haters on the other side. And we need to convince these people to move forward in this project. That is a real difficult task we are facing. So each and every month we get problems associated with this type of activities, some threat or some non-support and all those things from different sectors of the people. So we need to face this and move forward. In addition to that, we are concentrating on these children, mainly the children, than the adults. The reason is very obvious, because the adults do not have ears to listen to these type of messages. At the same time, the children are amenable to adopting behavior change than adults. So we are concentrating on the children. And just I would like to share a small story with you in this regard. For example, when this project started, I was posted at Madurai, for example. Madurai is known for the rabies cases. If you go to the government, the GH hospital in Madurai, there is an exclusive cell for the rabies patients, even now. So that many number of rabies cases are reported and people are dying in Madurai. So I have been posted to just study and do vaccination in that city about 4 or 5 months before the October event. So when I went started doing these trial vaccinations in the field, the people came, the local people came to me and they asked me what you are going to do. I said I'm going to do the vaccination to the dogs. Then after the vaccinations, what you will do? I said after the vaccinations, I will leave the dogs with you in the same place, and then we will go. Then if you are going to take the dog with you, please vaccinate. Otherwise, get out of this place. So there was no cooperation, and the public were dead against the dogs. So they want the stray dogs to be removed from those places, unfortunately. So what I did was I just went to the district collector and the commissioner of the city corporation, and then I told them to provide me with one vehicle with a uniformed drive, government vehicle with uniformed driver, and an order to all the schools in the city, so permitting me to go and talk to them. So I started educating these children continuously for about a month or two, utilizing this government support. Then after that, I got all these children out on the road with too many number of children's rallies shouting rabies down, down. And this press and media people were attracted, and they came to me and they told me, what is there? Then I explained to them about this, and it all came in the newspapers. With all this education, that achievement was fantastic. We were able to vaccinate 8,400 dogs against the target of 3,500, and that was the highest number of vaccinations done among the 14 cities during that time. We did vaccination in India. So this is the story. So we can understand the education, how the education is playing a major role in this project to convince these people. Yeah, it's a complex thing actually. People are main problems, that's right, but legally we can't do anything. So that is the reason we concentrate on the education. So unless the people change their attitude, we may not be able to see a great achievement on this. So that is the reason we have to educate, educate and educate. And so unless people, when people are very good to animals, at the same time one side they feed and the other side they are cruel. So the attitude change is very important to avoid these dog bites as well as to reduce the number of cases. Oh, thank you very much. If there is no other question, I thank WVS, Dr. Aswin, Dr. Vasundhara, and all this audience who attended this webinar today. Thank you very much.